Hey guys, welcome to your reading workshop today. So today and this week we're starting a new reading unit. We're starting Unit 5 and I'm really excited about this one because we're going to be learning all about the seasons, and I just love it because I love learning about seasons and we have a lot of things that we can do with it, so it's super exciting. The first thing I want to remind you of though is informational text, because the text that we're going to be reading this week is an informational text. And remember, it's important that we remember that an informational text is used to get information about something. So, informational text can answer questions. So if you have a question about anything, there's usually going to always be a book about it that you can read to figure out your answers to your questions. It's why I love informational text so much. So you could find who is the president. You could find an informational text about that. Or if you had a question about what season is it, okay, you could find an informational text about that. So informational texts answer questions. An informational text also describes something, okay? So I might look for an informational text that would describe our school, okay? And it would have a lot of pictures and describe what different types of areas in our school. I also might want to find an informational text that will describe what the weather is like during each season. Would be something good to look up, okay? Informational text can also explain things. So they might explain things like our rules at school, or explain things like how we should dress during each season. So these are a lot of things that we can get from an informational text. We can get answers to our questions. We can learn, they describe something so we can learn from the pictures, and then they also explain things in detail, so we could even get more details from an informational text. When we read an informational text, readers learn from the words in a book and the pictures in a book. So this week we're going to be practicing those two things, getting information from the words in a story or a book and the pictures. And so we're going to practice right now. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so we're going to practice right now. Actually, I am going to read a passage to you. And what we're going to do, we're going to use this chart. What did we learn from the words and from the pictures? And so we're going to make a list of things we learned from the actual words and then from the pictures that we saw. Okay? So we're going to be using our reading and thinking voice for this activity. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me move these out of the way. Okay, so the title of this passage is called Winter. In winter, the weather gets cold. The trees are bare, and many animals leave for warmer places. So that's it, just a short little passage. Let me read it one more time. Winter. In winter, the weather gets cold. The trees are bare, and many animals leave for warmer places. So let's go ahead and just make a list of the things we learned from the words in this passage, because we did learn some facts. So one of the facts that the passage told us was that the weather gets cold, right? In winter, the weather gets cold. We learned that from the words. In winter, the trees are bare. Do you guys know what that means when we say the trees are bare? It means in the wintertime, all of the leaves fall off of the trees. You know how when you're driving in the winter and all the leaves just look like a bunch of branches? That's what it means when we say the trees are bare. And then also we learn from the passage that animals leave for warmer places, don't they? We know that. We know, like birds, they fly south. We don't see as many animals in the winter because they've gone to warmer places to keep warm. I did have some thoughts, okay? When they said the weather gets cold, my thinking voice automatically told me like, whoa, We don't like the cold, is what my thinking voice said. So I don't like the cold. That was one of my thoughts. So I don't know if winter is like my favorite season because I don't like the cold. I also, when it says the trees are bare, it kind of made me sad because I don't like looking outside and not seeing a bunch of green leaves on the trees. Also, animals leave for warmer places. I felt happy for the animals. I'm like, good for them. I wish I could be an animal and go someplace warm for the winter. Okay, now I'm going to show you a picture that goes with this passage, and I want you to look at it very carefully, and it's going to be up on the screen for a while, so just look and look and look. Look for all of the details you can see in this picture, and it is a picture of winter. So I'm going to give you a few more seconds to keep looking. Okay, let's talk about what we saw in that picture. So the picture that I showed you was about winter, and the first thing I noticed is that it was snowing. It was snowing a lot, and my thinking voice said, hey, the snow does look kind of pretty in this picture, didn't it? Okay, so snow does look pretty. Even though I don't like it, it does look pretty. And I did look at the trees, and I noticed that the trees were bare. There were not any leaves on them. So we did also learn that from the picture as well. Okay, so good job, you guys. In your activity today, you're going to read the same passage and do this same activity that we just did together, okay? All right, bye, guys. Thanks for watching.